Greetings everyone, my name is Gigi and this is Let's Build, wherein I build a brick set timed to different media and talk about facts concerning the topic of the build. Today's build is the Wildlife Mystery Mini Blocks versus Super Animal Royale. The footage I'm using for this game is for science, educational, and research purposes. My content is transformative and protected under fair use. All footage is time-lapse with commentary. I apologize in advance for mispronouncing names or places. If you want to help me reach my target goals, please give me a like and subscribe. I'm just one person doing these videos after my full-time job, and I'm grateful for every new subscriber. I'm going to be unboxing a mystery pack of blocks, so I am purposefully going to keep some of the information vague to not spoil the build. Specification of the blocks. Mystery build excitement. Each pack contains one surprise wildlife animal to assemble. What's in the box? Micro blocks and instructions for one of 12 unique animals from the wildlife collection. Collectible fun. Try to build all 12 detailed brick-built animal figures. Perfect for animal lovers, collectors, educators, and anyone who enjoys a surprise building challenge. Wildlife Mystery Mini Block Set. Step into the wild with the Wildlife Mini Block Set. Each pack holds a surprise, one of 12 intricately designed animals waiting to come to life in your hands. Build, collect, and display a delightful assortment of woodland creatures, birds, and majestic animals. With detailed instructions and micro-sized blocks for a rewarding and satisfying challenge, these sets spark curiosity and inspire creativity. Perfect for nature enthusiasts and collectors alike. Key features: 12 unique animal designs. From bears to birds, collect them all and complete your wildlife display. The woodland wild animals included in this set: black bear, grizzly bear, moose, ram, raccoon, bald eagle, bat, roadrunner, wolf, white-tailed deer, owl, and bison. Surprise element. Unlock the excitement. Each set is a mystery until you open it. The concept of blind boxes originated in Japan in the 1900s. It was then called Fukubukuro, which means lucky bag in Japanese. Customers pay a fixed price for a bag whose contents are unknown until opened. The idea was to create a fun and exciting experience for customers, while offering the possibility of getting a deal. The history of blind boxes can be traced back to Japan at the beginning of the 20th century, when Japanese department stores began to handle the Fukubukuro custom. This allowed customers to purchase unknown items at a discounted rate, has since become popular throughout Asia and even crept into U.S. markets. Blind boxes, the latest craze in this fashion, combines collectible toy figures and the thrill of not knowing what's inside. One recent trend is the blind box, where customers purchase a package from a brand containing unknown products. While the concept itself is relatively new, it has been adapted from a New Year custom in Japan, where shopping malls package and bulk seal shrouded, excess, and unmarketable merchandise. Blind boxes work by trading on their uncertainty. As a result, they stimulate the consumers to repurchase in the quest for rare products. This allows users to give them new value by repackaging them into a blind box, thereby transforming them into surprises for someone else. The lucky bags contain unknown random contents, making them a great surprise for the buyer. More and more snack makers are launching their products in blind boxes. After consumers register for a blind box service, they will receive a box with surprises inside. A blind box is a type of packaging that keeps its contents hidden from the buyer. These boxes are identical in every way, and nobody, including the seller, knows which toy is inside. Blind box or blind packaged means you don't know which specific design from a series you might be receiving. The boxes and or bags are sealed and the seller does not open them to reveal the contents. Blind box toys have been popular attractions for decades. A blind box is a product sold in a box containing a random item from any one series. Like the hobby of collecting trading cards, which began in 1886, you know what set you're buying, but you don't know which one you're getting. This is the same concept with blind boxes. Over the past couple of years, the trend has been blind boxes, with customers purchasing a package from a brand containing unknown contents. The mystery element adds to the fun of purchasing the blind box. After all, a version of blind boxes has already been floated since as far back as the 1900s with the Fukubukuro, a Japanese tradition of selling mystery bags filled with leftover goods at a discount. The toy-centered version of this came later in 1965 when Japanese entrepreneur Ryugo Shigeta introduced the gachapon, a vending machine dispensing collectible toys encased in clear plastic capsules. While these capsules weren't technically blind boxes, as you can see what each box has to offer, they essentially work identically to modern mystery boxes, as you only really know what you're getting once the capsule has popped out of the slot of the machine. Whether you're talking about blind boxes or a gachapon, each container packs one of several specified toy variants. Sometimes, if you're lucky, you'll even find a rarer, more valuable figure. Blind boxes have existed in various forms since the early days of gachapon, whether that can be loot boxes in video games or booster packs of trading card games like Magic the Gathering or Pokemon, which, coincidentally enough, is having its own resurgence in recent days thanks to the release of the digital version of the trading card game. The blind box concept has even been applied to discount packs of unsold foods in China. Regardless of medium, all blind boxes work in the similar fashion. They prey on several psychological mechanisms to keep us buying over and over. First, there's our natural urge to collect things, typically unusual, rare, important, and exquisite things. So powerful is the human urge to collect items that the pleasure centers of our brains literally light up when we're presented with the piece that fits that criteria. PopMart, the Beijing-based company that emerged as one of the biggest players behind the blind box craze, capitalized on this urge by working with famous brands and designers to put out higher quality collectibles with wide pop culture appeal. The company's results speak for themselves. Its revenue has exploded from 514 million won in 2018 to a whopping 6.3 billion yuan in 2013. Its success also hinges on the intrinsic and extrinsic rewards of a well-formed collection. Internally, we feel satisfied when we're able to complete an entire set, both for its increased economic value and its innate completeness. Furthermore, our instinctive curiosity to resolve uncertainties is so strong that we'd feel satisfaction even when expecting and receiving a negative result. In fact, so many of our daily decisions are driven by the confluence of human psychology and potential rewards that we often fail to realize just how predictable we really are. In Freakonomics, a rogue economist explores the hidden sides of everything. Stephen Levitt attempts to break down idiosyncrasies ranging from fraud and violent crime to the obesity epidemic, all through the lens of economics. Externally, we also receive gratification from the reaction of fellow collectors, which explains why so many people are following in K-pop star Lisa from Blackpink's footsteps by unveiling their latest Labubu dolls on social media. But the allure of blind boxes has a dark side too. The uncertainty of the blind box leads to increased psychological arousal, causing us to feel emotions more intensely, emotions like surprise, elation, and utter disappointment when you finally get the box open and reveal the toy within. This cycle of anticipation and payoff, unfortunately, works exactly like gambling, as we are conditioning our brains to expect the dopamine rush of snagging a high-value collectible, driving further purchases of blind boxes despite the overwhelming evidence that we will get a repeat. Alas, humans aren't good at confronting concepts like luck and chance, which is why it might do us well to read The Art of Uncertainty, How to Navigate Chance, Ignorance, Risk, and Luck, where lifelong number cruncher David Spiegelhalter tries to educate us to wrap our minds around the cold, hard truth of statistical improbabilities. The addictive rush of opening blind boxes has been shown, at least for the video game equivalent of loot boxes, to act as a gateway to gambling problems. Combine this with the fact that many blind boxes, gachapon, and the like are targeted primarily at children and youth, and it's no wonder that governments, including Singapore's, have taken notice and are beginning to plan regulation frameworks. However, given the proliferation and enduring presence of products like the humble pack of Pokemon cards, it's unlikely that we'll see blind boxes eradicated off the market, whether partially or completely. Super Animal Royale is an indie battle royale video game developed by and published by Pixile Studios. The game features 64 player matches starring anthropomorphic animals who use a variety of weapons and firearms from a 2D overhead perspective, and was built using the Unity game engine. An early version debuted on Steam Early Access on December 12, 2018, with a free-to-play demo version released the following month in January of 2019. An Xbox One and X Series XS version appeared on Xbox Game Pass in-game preview on June 1st, 2021. The game left early access on Steam and was released for macOS, Microsoft Windows, Nintendo Switch, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and the Xbox Series XS on August 26, 2021, and for Google Stadia on December 14, 2021. Gameplay: Super Animal Royale is a 2D top-down, third-person battle royale shooter. Up to 64 players compete to be the last person standing, using a variety of weapons. When joining, players are placed in the lobby, whereupon they have to wait until a match starts. At the start of each match, players are riding the giant eagle, and can eject using an umbrella to fly to a spot on the map. The map has various biomes and locations, such as Pete's Swamp, Superite Mountain, and the Super Penguin Palace. Players create a character from one of several super animals. Anthropomorphic animals of different species and subspecies, some fictional. Species and subspecies are unlocked by collecting animal DNA, and super serum awarded after each match. Other post-match awards include Carl coins and various cosmetics. Experience points are granted based on the player's performance at the end of each game, which allows them to level up, and they can use post-match rewards to unlock new species and cosmetic items. There are various cosmetic items such as sunglasses, hats, different melee weapons, and outfits. Some can even be unlocked by reaching certain milestones, such as ties for kill-based milestones and bow ties for matches played. After joining a lobby, players mingle in a non-combat area until the match begins, with non-player bots joining the queue if less than 64 human players are present, 15 seconds before the start of the game. In a recent interview, Developers Michael Silverwood and Ruben Grijalva, in fact, promised that the upcoming new editions will focus on making this hub a place to socialize where players can be there as long as they like. Each combatant parachutes from a large eagle onto the battlefield, containing weapons, protective armor, and health juice, which can be stocked to restore health when needed. Initially wielding a katana or another equipped melee weapon, players can find automatic and semi-automatic guns and ammunition, along with grenades and other throwable items that are used to defeat other players. Hamster balls can be entered for protection, faster transport, and as a method for running over opponents, dealing damage. Super skunk gas will creep in from the outer edges of the map as the match progresses, forcing players into progressively smaller areas until the end of the game. Each game can be joined solo, as a duo, or as a squad. Super Animal Royale features seasons, which are mainly drops of new weapons, super animal species, and cosmetics. Each season also features a season package, which is paid for, and grants SAW tickets, the paid currency, and various cosmetics. There is also a season's pass, paid for in SAW tickets, which, as you play matches, lets you unlock various cosmetics. Development. Super Animal Royale began development in October 2017 by members of Pixile Studios. The game was inspired by similar shooter games such as H1Z1 and PUBG, or PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, with its 2D aesthetic taken from classic top-down adventure games such as The Legends of Zelda. Lead designer Michael Silverwood and lead developer Chris Clogg built the game in Unity and created the line-of-sight mechanic of hiding players in objects' shadows by modifying an existing Unity plugin to aid with performance. Silverwood stated that his decision to have the game feature cartoon animals was that he liked the absurd humor of juxtaposing whimsical, colorful characters with surprisingly angry and violent personalities. Sign-ups for the alpha version began March 2018, where players could register on the title's official website. A later version of the title was released on Steam Early Access December 12, 2018, which launched a free weekend promotion for the following 4 days. On January 3, 2019, a permanent free-to-play demo version was released, which allows players to transfer their progress and unlocked content to the full paid version of the game when purchased. On May 8, 2024, Michael Silverwood announced Super Animal Royale would be going independent, no longer having Modus Games as the game's publisher, with Pixile Studios self-publishing Super Animal Royale on all platforms. After the game was released on all platforms, Pixile Studios released a teaser for Super Animal World, an expansion to the game that is more chill than the typical Battle Royale game that players are used to. As of October 2025, the mode still isn't released to all platforms. This set was a gift sent to me by some friends who live in Alaska. Thank you guys very much. It was sent with a couple of other sets as well, so look forward for when I post those. I cut a small part of the beginning of me opening the directions since the single page sheet spoils the mystery immediately. The animal that I received turned out to be the Roadrunner, a very fitting creature for where I now reside. With a ridiculous amount of spare bricks, I had to look over the directions carefully to make sure I didn't miss any important steps. I thought the Super Animal Royale game was a fitting game since they have so many different animals available and they're all super cute. Total build time, 28 minutes, 39 seconds, which means you could watch an episode of Happy Tree Friends. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Remember to like, subscribe, share, ring that bell, all the things for the YouTubes. Thank you.